So here we are again, and we're now into the design and creative hour, which I'm really looking forward to, because with me is Mel. And one of the nice things was that Portobello Business Centre, who I'm great fans of, you know, I'm a big fan, as you know, of the enterprise agency movement generally, but they said there was this absolutely fantastic talent, this brilliant creative talent. And then they sent me a picture of somebody actually doing some knitting, and I thought, oh, what's creative about that? But I've come to realize that this is one of the most fantastic creative design businesses I've actually seen in. And perhaps just tell us a little bit about it, Mel.
I am a fashion designer by trade. So, well, by training, I did years of women's clothing, and then decided to translate that into furniture and furnishings. So I now knit covers for vintage furniture, which are giant, large-scale panels of knitting that get upholstered onto vintage furniture. And then I also make mega knit cushions and throws, working on giant knitting needles like these ones. And do bespoke pieces for people, one-off commissions, and then also installations and window displays for shops and things like that as promotional.
Wow, so that's interesting. I mean, we're not in our marketing hour, but every single one of the reasons that Microbiz Matters Day is about customers, cash flow, and chat, which is about confidence, inspiration, feeling good about your business, that kind of thing, is because we reckon, really, that's all there is to business, really. It's about getting customers, keeping customers, looking after them, various things. So how do people come to you for a commission? How do they know that you've got this incredible talent that you can do these unique pieces?
I get a lot of press through magazines and newspapers, which I use. I create pieces for them for their photo shoots and things like that. So it's a lot of collaborations with people for that, and then that gets my products known to general consumers. I do trade shows as well, but mainly, and most of my work comes through press pieces or word of mouth. So my clients quite often pass them on to their friends.
We've been talking a lot as the day's been going on about the fact that micro business owners have got a massive advantage over like organizations that we were with here, corporate organizations, because they can actually put their personality into something which creates trust and interest from the customers, and it's much easier to gain customer loyalty and things. Is your creative business one whereby you get customers coming back because they are so impressed, or is it one where it's a single sales all the time?
A lot of it is customers coming back. So it might be that I've made one of my a classic thing that they've seen, a chair that they know I can make for them in the past, and then they come back and they say, actually, do you know someone, or could you make this? Could you do this? Because I work one-on-one, they know me, they know that I'll bend over backwards to help them. So I'll try things and I'll work with them to try to make something different. So it's quite often repeat customers that come back for various things.
Right. And in terms of, obviously you've had all this professional training as well, kind of thing. What would you say is if you were advising somebody else who might want to start, obviously it's not the same business because your business is unique and all micro businesses are unique, but if you're advising somebody who wanted to do something similar, what would you say they need to be aware of? What would you say that they need to actually focus on, really?
Two things. One is make sure you love it, because you're going to spend your entire life thinking about it. And yeah, including when you go to bed at night. So yeah, make sure that you absolutely love it before you go there, because it's not as easy as you think. And the other is be aware that, particularly with creative people, you want to be making all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to be spending, 80% of my time making and 20% of my time doing the rest of it. And it's actually probably for the first 5 years, 60% of my time doing marketing and accounts and all of the stuff around it, and actually only probably 40% making. So be aware that it is a business. It's not just sitting at home, because you won't sell anything if you don't get out there and try and sell.
Yeah.
So those would be the two things that I really needed to know before I started, should have known before I started. And
how much do you need to project your personality into things like PR and things like within your marketing? Is that an important part of your type of business or not?
I find for mine, it probably is a lot. I love knitting. I usually have some knitting in my hands when
we made a lot of progress quite quickly. We're doing really well, actually.
when I meet people. So I think my brand and me very much reflect each other. However, I guess if you've got people working with you, as soon as you get on to kind of like, say there's 3 of you in a team, you might well find that it's not, you don't want to be quite so connected to yourself.
Right.
So I think it depends on how you're going to do it. I'm a one-person team, so therefore I find it's very important that it's based around me and that I reflect everything.
And do you want to keep it as a one-person business?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love all parts of it. I'm not a...
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Hello, we've got more people, so that's great. So, right, could you introduce yourself? So, Gabriella, yeah.
Hi, this is Claire here. I'm not sure if I just logged in too early, sorry.
I think Gabriella's just joined as well, am I right? Claire's here, and Claire's got the, well, I'll tell you what, you both introduce your businesses. With me is Mel, and we're doing a fantastic job knitting at the moment.
Oh, that sounds fun. Hi Mel, how you doing?
And Microbiz Matters Day, as you've probably seen, is absolute mayhem. So we're not on any particular format now, but we've got about 20 minutes left of this particular design and creative hour. And in a couple of minutes, I'll be either joined by Lorna or by Mark, and we'll just keep running and asking questions and talking to each other. But we're just talking about the moment, really, about how important it is in terms of, you've got to love it. You've got to love what you're doing. So, I mean, I think everybody around the room has had a lot of professional training and a lot of and I've obviously got a lot of creative and design talent, but you've still got to turn that into a business that you could live and breathe all the time and in doing kind of things. So perhaps you could just introduce what you do, what you think you can offer in this design and creative hour, which is now about 20 minutes, to actually help other micro business owners from really what you've learned about having a design and creative business, or obviously we've actually got training that's for design and creative people as well. So who wants to go first?
Shall I go first? Because I think Gabriella's just having a drink. There's a slight time delay, so I'm really sorry if I talk on top of anybody, but I'm Claire. I am the co-founder of Handmade Horizons, so I'm not one of those wonderfully creative people who can do all the knitting and sewing or anything like that, but what I do have is a marketing background and a lot of experience of working with big brands and always focused on selling online. So for the last 3 or 4 years, I've focused on working exclusively with creative professionals, so people who are running sewing businesses, who are artists, who are doing anything, basically making and selling handmade goods and basically helping them to sell their things online, so on platforms like Etsy or through their own websites and that kind of thing. So that's basically me, and that's what I do. I have a book out which I published in October last year, which is called From Passion to Profit, Start Your Creative Business in 6 weeks or less. And so if anyone has any questions during these remaining minutes, anything about want help with selling their products online or any of that kind of thing, selling on Etsy, which is the best website to choose, all those sorts of things, and I'm really happy to answer anything, any specific questions, anything along those lines, if anyone wants any help with that kind of thing.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, that's me.
What would be your, we've had a lot of discussions during the day, Claire, about online platforms rather than doing something yourself, and we've had a lot of discussions about, well, we've just had a fantastic discussion in Retail Hour about how positive retail can be. If you really get to learn all of your potential customers. I mean, I talk about high street retail. If you get to really, really know your customers and how you can build a business out of these kind of things, where a lot of people say, well, you need to be multi-channel. We've just talked to somebody who isn't multi-channel, if you like, who's got a very, very successful business. What would be your one bit of advice on Microbiz Matters Day to somebody regarding the use of kind of online platforms for what they design and create against more conventional things, you know, even from test trading on markets and face-to-face things? Yeah, just give us a view from your...
My view would always be that you need to start with where your customers are. So, you know, every business, I think, you need to have, you know, everyone says, oh, but I don't know who my customers are until I start. But you have to start with somewhere. You have to make a guess in terms of, you know, okay, well, you know, I can imagine that my customers are going to be, you know, in the mid. So I'm making really funky handmade headdresses that people might wear to go clubbing or something. Yeah. So in which case, they're going to be quite young people. You know, they're not necessarily going to be shopping in John Lewis, but they're more likely to be, you know, perhaps going on Etsy or wherever it might be. Whatever you're selling, I think your channel should be determined by your view of your customers. So even if you don't know, customers like to be shopping on Etsy. Are my customers like to be shopping in the market? You know, thinking about what you sell and what you've got to offer, I'd always start from that view. And I think you pick one channel and you test it, and then if it works, then great. Perhaps you want to focus more on that, or perhaps you want to expand to other channels. But I think it's really tempting at the beginning to go, God, I need to have my own website, I need to be on Etsy, I need to be on Folksy, I need to be getting on the high street, and trying to do like 10 billion things at once without really knowing just yet who it is that you're trying to sell to. So I'd just say, you know, think about who your customer is, where they like to be, start with that, and then go from there. That would be my take on it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Is it Gabrielle?
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. Fantastic. Looks great. Everything's beautiful. So yeah, tell us your perspective on this.
Well, I'm still in the startup phase. I launched my business in May 2013, still very new. I rushed at the beginning, tried to embrace everything, tried to understand Facebook, Pinterest, not on the high street, Etsy, Folksy, everything, and you can't. So I just slowed it down, and I decided to let the business grow organically, because my customers tell me what they want, and I decided to listen to my customers. I sell a lot direct. I do one trade show a year. The pressure to be everywhere, to be all things to all people, is enormous, and you bankrupt yourself very quickly by doing that. But by listening to what my customers tell me, they feed back very quickly the designs they like, what they want to see next time, what gifts they want to give people. They give me ideas and I respond to that, and it's free. And I engage with my customers, I talk to them, I get to know them, and like everyone's been saying, I get to know who they are, what their names are, where their kids go to school, how old their children are, and it's personal. And I think the trick with a micro business is for it to be personal. I just went to the high street just now to get something, and I just wanted to run out.
Good on you.
I did actually. I just left my thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, Enterprise promotes Indie 25, which is everybody spending at least 25% of their money with independent businesses. But it also makes sense because it's a much more pleasurable experience, isn't it? So I think that's great. Gabrielle, just on terms of, I suppose, this really knowing your customers and various things, but how do you get to know your prospective customers rather than ones that have actually come to you? In other words, where you could be going with your business in the future? Do you do that? Is that why you use the trade shows and various things to?
You have to be seen. I've understood, I've learned that you've got to be visible, and so I'm at Top Drawer tomorrow, this weekend, and it's about building networks and contacts. So they might see me, someone I met last year who didn't buy from me might see me this weekend and then buy from me again. It might be a relationship that takes a couple of years to develop, but it's something I have to nurture, and I keep in touch with people. I visit people I like to stock locally in local shops, and I get to know them carefully. There isn't a quick get-rich thing about this business of being a micro business.
I don't know many micro business owners that are rich, actually. I mean, Charlie Mullins is the richest person I've come across, and he's in early, but he's got a £20 million business, and he's on his way to 100 million as a plumbing business, which is absolutely fantastic. But I don't know that many micro-biz owners, really, in 29 years of running my own business, that are actually rich. But I think they are rich in other qualities, in terms of they're earning a living in the way they actually want to earn a living. They're making more than ends meet, a lot of the people I know, and they're doing something they've still got a passion in, if you like. So,
and you're in control of your own destiny as well.
Yeah.
So you can push it, and you can sort of decide where you want to go and work towards it without someone else telling you what to do, and I think that's really empowering.
Yeah,
you don't get that if you don't work for yourself.
No, absolutely. So Lorna's with me, and Lorna's Paul earlier showed me some of your products and various things, and home furnishings, should we call them, and various things. So what's your perspective? I mean, in terms of this whole area of, I mean, I just love design and creative businesses, and I suppose I'm part of one of my businesses in that, even though I'm probably a writer, really, but I mean, still kind of in that kind of area. What would you say about anybody looking to set up a similar business to you? Because I mean, I already have the knowledge that you're pretty good at that technology stuff and various things, aren't you? Well,
I think for me, I've relied on technology quite a lot to get me where I'm going. Although I do interior textiles, so I design, I make physical products that I sell to people. There is that side of the marketing and the organising, and that I use online. So I use a lot of cloud-based things, such as I do my accounts, which is with Sage, and that's all cloud-based. I use Google Docs for all of my organisation. So it means wherever I am, because when you're a micro business, you are all over the place trying to meet your customers. And getting yourself out there. If someone drops me an email, I can sort it out straight away because I've got the answers at my fingertips. And so that, on the sort of the hidden side of technology, has been amazing. But also for the social media side, it's been really good. Trying to work out, I mean, we've got things like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and all of these different things, and each one need to be treated differently so that you can communicate with your customers in different ways, the way that people use platforms, the way that they view the images. And one thing it's really made me realise is that to make people understand what I do without physically being in front of them, without physically having my own shop, is to have amazing photographs where they can understand and sort of interact with my products through the computer screen, and then sort of push it further. So all my designs are based around things that have happened, around places, so parts of Cornwall, the village I grew up in, and then the new designs that I'm launching in the next week or so are all based on what's happened last year with getting married and all of that sort of thing. So each one comes with a story, and quite often they're stories that people connect with. So when you put something on social media, it will be something they understand, something they know someone's done that, and I think that's a really interesting way to communicate with your customers, keep your customers, but also find new ones, because often the ones that understand and interact with you will have friends of a similar understanding, and it will sort of snowball like that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's a question for all of you, and I'll bring Mark in a second, but stay with me for a second, Lorna. This question to all of you is, how important is, all of you come from a trained design and creative background, so you've I don't know, Gabrielle, have you did MMU, was it, or not? But I mean, you've all had training, haven't you? Yeah. Now you're a micro biz owner. How do you actually keep up to speed, keep up to date? How do you actually keep designing and creating and finding, you know, new fantastic ways of doing things.
I think you need to be aware of what inspired you and why you got into it in the first place. If you the sort of stuff we do is not run-of-the-mill, the sort of thing you'll find on the high street. It's stuff that's a bit different, and people will invest in that personal connection. So I think the most important thing is just to keep things around you that keep you inspired.
Okay.
And find your own path.
What about Mel? What do you think?
I find working in collaboration with my clients.
So Mel is saying work in collaboration with your clients keeps it kind of fresh. Mark, what do you say?
Well, you need to set values and a vision for the brand and for what you want to do. And if you always believe in that vision and that end result, it will keep you going no matter what.
Yeah.
And this is very important. Never lose hope of that vision. And as long as goes back to the first answer Ron said, you need to really be very passionate in what you do. And if you're very passionate, you really love what you're trying to do in your business, then you definitely believe in that end result. So
yeah. So Mark was saying it's about, if you've got those core passion and values, if you like, then that is going to keep carrying you through and keep going and keep moving forward, if you like. I think that's certainly, I find that in our kind of business as well. But but you're really saying it's actually a self-learning thing through the environment that you have around, and especially
it's easier said than done. And I think you need to learn from your mistakes.
That'd be great. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, come and join us, Mark. Yeah, that's great. So Mark was just saying there that it's kind of easier said than done. Carry on. Yeah. This is Mark. Mark's got lovely accessories and bags and various things. All Italian manufacturer.
Yeah, it's an English brand, but we produce everything in Italy. And it's all handmade. It's one of the few companies that still do everything by hand. Everything is hand stitched, even the cutting of the leather, the stitching, the printing also of the lining is done to all traditional methods. So it's go back to quality, and this is what I wanted to do, is revive the industry, because the word luxury has become very overused and very abused, if you want to say, where everybody says we do luxury, we do, including all of the big brands, without naming anyone. But it's very important. We've set core values for the brand, and I think this is also one thing that keeps me going. Ethics, values, and the end vision of doing something that I believe in, a really true core quality product. So yeah, and then you learn from your mistakes really a lot. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no one direction to do something. We all going to learn it as we go forward, and you really need to do the mistake, or you need to learn it until you understand what's wrong, and then next time you do it better. So you can definitely learn from experiences of others and people who've done it before. But also you need to pass through it and learn from your own particular mistakes. And I think it's very important. It teaches you a lot. So, and I've learned a lot from mine. So, and I've done a lot of mistakes, but it does help. And
how long have your business been going?
So I've had the business for 6 years. I actually did it the opposite way round. All of the others, they came from specific design background to begin with. I came from a business background. So I had a BA in business administration, followed by a master's in marketing, fashion, emphasis on consumer behavior and luxury brands. And then my third degree was design and training in the design. So I did learn at an early stage that it is a business, and I do all of the creative in the business, but in the end of the day, it's always in the back of my mind that it is a business, and you need to take into consideration when creating a product, a price point, who's going to carry the product, who is your customer, what do they do, really have a deep research into the market, into who is this product targeted for. And I think I've seen it many times. Sometimes designers, they do really very avant-garde, crazy collections that at the end of the day, it's beautiful, but you also need to have that little bit of a question mark in the back of your mind. who is going to wear it. Of course, you always do the couple of pieces that are quite impressive or not necessarily for wearing, but you will. But you need the majority of the product is to sell it, and you need to make sure that it's sellable. And if it's not sellable, then it's not work.
Nice focus there. Can obviously Microbiz Matters Day is about micro business owners helping other micro business owners on customers and cash flows. So I'll just finish off. I'll give you a little bit of time to think of the answer, but let's give Claire no time at all to think of the answer to this question. And the question is, what will you do on Microbiz Matters Day? We can do it tomorrow. I don't mind now because we're getting near the end of the day. But what could you give in 9 minutes that could actually help one or more other micro business owners in the future with their business?
I could give them 9 minutes of my time if somebody wants to, or if several people want to ask me a question or want to reach out for me for advice, and I can definitely do that.
Fantastic.
Does that help?
No, that's absolutely perfect. That was I wasn't leading you into that, but that is absolutely perfect. So thank you very much. And one of the beauties of these hangouts is obviously they last forever and a day because they go straight onto YouTube. And, and obviously everybody's profiles, all of your profiles are under the YouTube video forever and a day, so you will get contacted, Claire, so thank you.
That's fine. You can tweet me or you can email me either, then I'm always there for help.
Oh, so, thank you very much for joining us as well. Absolutely fantastic. Gabrielle,
no problem at all.
What can you do in 9 minutes for?
Is that me? Oh, sorry, you disappeared then.
Sorry, we've lost. Can you hear me? Put your hand up if you can hear me. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well done. Yes. Okay. So what can you give in 9 minutes to other micro business owners?
Well, the same as Claire, just some of my time. That was always what was crucial when I was starting out, was just someone giving me time to just, even if it was 5 minutes, for me to say, how do I solve this? What do I do with this? Or how do I go forward with this? And talking to someone who is in another business, it didn't have to be greeting cards and gifts. Just saying, do this or do that, rather than just faffing around in the dark. And I'm really happy to do that. So again, tweet or Facebook or email, it's fine.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sorry, both of you, very much that we delayed you with all this, but it couldn't be helped. Yeah. Mark, what about you? What can you give in 9 minutes to help?
Well, I'd be very happy to advise based on my experience on how to go about moving forward, or how to progress with the business, and from my mistakes that I've learned as well. But I also want to add that the UK government actually gives a lot of help to all micro businesses, and I've personally had a lot of help from the UK Trade and Investment Offices, the UKTI, through market research and expansion into international market. So everyone should definitely contact the local UKTI office, the UK Trade and Investment. They give you free advice. You don't have to pay to anything, and it's genuinely great advice that no other country has it, and we should be proud of the service that we have it really here in the UK. And I think not many people know about it.
No, they don't. That's true.
It's not marketed properly.
It's the first time that's come out all day.
It's not marketed properly, but definitely, it's there. It's there to support all of us, and to there's so many different concessions. There's different grants that they can give you to test new markets, visit new markets. So you should definitely contact the local UKTI and learn, and get some advice on how they can help you with that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much, Claire. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Thanks also to Mel and Lorna, and thanks for making fantastic design and creative hour on Microbiz Matters Day. Cheerio, everybody. Bye.
Bye.